to Bad Decisions with Jas.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, you're listening to Season 2, Episode 4 on Bad Decisions with Jas. I say this every single episode. A lot has happened in my life in the last week. So we're going to jump into it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to cry about it. We're going to figure it out. Obviously, by the title, you know what the hell I'm talking about. And if you don't, well, why don't you just keep on listening? So, for those of you who are new to my podcast, hello. Welcome to the shit show I call my life. And I shit you not, it's a shit show. Like, I cannot express this enough. If you listen to my prior episodes, just in a little blurb of my life where I talk about myself, because this is my diary, you will understand that a lot happens in my life. And I don't know how I'm a magnet to it. I don't know how. I had coffee this morning. I didn't finish it. Still got it right here. Still in a cute little Yeti cup. And, but I'm wired. I'm wired. I'm ready to do this week. I am ready to be enthusiastic, even though the topic we were talking about is super sad, but I don't want to be sad about it. I don't. You know why? Because we're on some bad bitch business. That's how we roll. That's how we rock. What's new in my life, Jas, huh? What is new? Let me tell you about it. Well, happy birthday to my brother. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, he listens to my podcast, which is weird because he turned 11 today. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that either, but I can't control the man. That he's gonna do whatever he wants, and he's growing up to be a big boy, so let him support his biggest sister. Yes, we love that. Speaking of sisters, spoke to my baby sister yesterday. Her life is also a shit show, but she don't listen to my podcast, which kind of makes me upset, honestly. Not even gonna lie. But anyways, new in my life, I scrolled through my pictures, which I tend to do once in a while, just to remember what that life was once upon a time like. I don't know. Well, whatever. But just to remember what life used to be like, basically. And I just scroll until I get to a certain point where it's like, okay, don't want to really do this anymore. Kind of bored, but whatever, don't care. Yeah, so, I was scrolling through pictures. I was, like, on Instagram. I was, like, in my archives. I was scrolling through the photos that I've posted and, you know, my camera roll, of course. And I was just like, oh, my God. The number of times I have talked about moving to Chicago is beyond me. Like, 10 different times. Every single time I have the opportunity to move back. I just don't do it. But we're going to rep Chicago real quick. Look, I brought a prop, Chicago Cubs, and, yeah, I'm very pissed off that they had the audacity to get rid of, like, 2 of the dopest players, but they better have some kind of good plan. Anyways, continuing. I miss Chicago, though. That's where I'm at in my life. The last time I visited Chicago was in January, which was a minute ago, and that makes me sad. But in my defense and in hubby's defense, we have been smart about going to new places we've never been, such as San Francisco, and I got to see the Cubs there, and that was fun. We saw the Giants, of course, blah, blah, blah. That is cool, even though the Cubs lost both times that we won. Hubby will never let me live that down. So we got a cute little hat on because I miss Chicago, and every time I see it in, like, shows or movies, I'm just so jealous because I'm like, dang, I miss the seasons, man. I miss my life, but in Chicago, there was so many, you know, so much of a past that I don't want to move back to, because you move back to that past and then old habits die hard. That's what they say. Don't know. I like where I'm at in my life. I feel like if I move back to Chicago, I'm moving backwards, but at the same time, I'm also conquering those demons. Do you see my logic? Going crazy. Also, hubby would never want to move back to Chicago to begin with. We'll never move to Chicago for him. He's never lived there. Because he doesn't know what the hell snow is. He doesn't know. So, also, I can't imagine our dog in the snow. I can't imagine that. I think it would be a shit show. I miss Chicago, though. I think I miss it, like, for family reasons. Ooh, this hair. I miss it for family reasons. I miss being close to my mom. I miss being able to just go visit whenever I want to, and, you know, just have, like, a life there. But then again, I say that about Tucson, so here we are, and another bad decision with Jazz. Yeah, I'm thinking about dyeing my hair to my natural hair color. Also put, like, a treatment in it. It's very oily. Not living its very best life, but that's okay because we're on some bad bitch business. Yeah, that's what we're doing. I don't know. I'm thinking about it, but you know, we got a wedding coming up, and I gotta remember what these photos are like. On a side note, for those of you on YouTube, have you noticed my cute little setup? I always have it here, but I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure they're tired of seeing the wall. Why don't we switch it up a little bit? You know? So I did that. So I did that for you because I appreciate all my listeners, all of them. From around the world. I appreciate you guys. Boys and girls. You know? That's why I say in the beginning. Duh. So also in the photos, I noticed that my deployment was 2 years ago. Now, I made a lot of bad decisions on this deployment, but I met a lot of really cool people. But I went shopping like every single weekend. Every single weekend, we were out there. We were living our best lives. I was drinking Starbucks still. Like, it was not... I mean, it was a vacation. That's it. That's all it was. But wow, I was definitely playing the field out there, and the amount of feelings I hurt kind of makes me feel bad. So if you listen, I just want to say I'm sorry for hurting your feelings, and please forgive me because it was kind of shitty. But that was back in my hoe days, and that's all that we're gonna discuss about it for now. Maybe we could talk about it in another episode or something, because it's one wild ride. I am rambling now. Something new in my life. So if you play Sims, then you know what I'm talking about, but I play Sims like religiously, and lately I have not been able to put it down. Like, this is how much I love you guys, because instead of playing Sims right now, I am making a podcast for you, and that's nice of me. So I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it's anxiety, maybe. But my Sims life has been expanding a bit, and I noticed that because I usually upload the houses that I build, and usually I get about like 20 to 30 downloads. It's fine. But I just uploaded a modern penthouse, and it got 230 downloads. Like, that's a significant number compared to my average numbers. So I feel as though I would like to get on Twitch and start streaming, like, the process of me building the house, basically. And you listen to me talk about how I decide that I don't want this here anymore, and I'm going to switch everything up. And basically, it's just like a way for my creativity to come to life. I love building houses. I love interior designing. So it's one way for me to do that without actually spending any of my money. Now, I spent money to get the game, but that's a significant amount less than actual furniture. So if you'd like to see me, probably going to be listed as Bad Decisions with Jazz, just so that it makes it easier for you, and we could talk about the bad decisions I make when I build a house, because I've seen myself literally cut that shit off just to redo it. Like, I've seen myself, and we're gonna go with that. We're gonna leave it there. So we went to Target yesterday. Target is always a trip. Love Target. It's one of my two favorite stores. Lululemon is obviously the second. You have to know that about me. I love my Target and I love my Lululemon, but I love Hubby more. So we were at Target yesterday, and we saw, I'm not sponsored by them, but we saw the Function shampoo and conditioner. That's like Target's new line or whatever it is. And I've been wanting it. And I've been wanting it because it's kind of cool. You get to literally add your own pods to it and decide what you want in your shampoo and conditioner. So I liked it, and I was sitting there, and, you know, hubby and I are arguing about why I think I should get this, and I'm trying to sell him on it, and then this girl walks by, and she was like, "Oh, I just bought that. I really like it. You should let her get it." And I'm just like, thank you. Please convince him. Like, yes. Long story short, I ended up getting it. So we put it on my hair. It's great. Love it. We're living our best lives. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute. I mean, there was this one time where we were like we were like playfully fighting walking out of a grocery outlet, and he smacked my ass, and some girl like heard us and he saw him do it, and she was like laughing so hard, and she was like, but it wasn't like laughing because it was awkward, it was laughing because she was like, oh, that's really cute. And yeah, we're kind of cute. It's like, ugh, like it makes us want to throw up. Like, no, I shit you not. Like sometimes we literally are like, that was a little too cute. But I love hubby. I love that we're getting married. I just had a meeting with the wedding planner. Things are going smoothly. So shout out to my wedding planner. I told her about my podcast and I was like a little like, you know, I was just like, oh no, kind of scared because I don't know what she's going to think, you know. But I told her that I had mentioned her in my podcast, and I'm mentioning her again, so shout out to her for making our dream come to life. And yeah, let's get into, speaking of marriage, let's get into the final, what are they, I don't know the saying, man, I live under a rock, but it's like final nail in the bullet. Never mind, no, I'm just gonna shut up now. But yesterday, my baby sister had called me, like I said, and she's a very smart individual, okay? Kind of stupid, not in an insulting way, but just like, she should go to school a little bit more and actually pay attention. But she's really intelligent because this is one of her strengths, but she doesn't listen to my podcast, so she's never gonna freaking know this. Her strength is that she knows where to find her resources, and I think that is a very good topic that we should talk about in another episode, but for this purpose, really good strength to have. And I say that because she has her oldest sister, and then she has her other older sister, I don't know, I'm the oldest, then there's the older, yeah, exactly, that's my little sister, and she's my baby sister. So my baby sister uses my little sister and her oldest sister. Very, very smart. Okay, let me elaborate. When she comes to me, she is seeking like maternal wisdom, advice. That did not make sense at all, but you get what I'm trying to say. At least I hope that you do. But she's seeking an older person's advice, somebody who has been in this situation before, but she's also seeking that emotional aspect of it. So my little sister is not, the one in college, is not very interactive with her emotions. It's just something that she pushes away, and my baby sister lives with her, so naturally she picks that up off of her. So she will go to her when she doesn't really want to talk about emotions, and she comes to me when she talks about emotions, because I'm a very emotional person, and it's not like a quality that I love about myself, but here we are, we're gonna work with it. It's who I am. I'm gonna love myself for that. But she's very smart. But she called me yesterday because dun dun dun, my father, every single episode I talk about this shit, my father's getting married, okay? And I'm pissed about it for multiple reasons, but not the reasons you might think. I'm pissed about the situation. I'm pissed that it's come to this. I'm more disappointed than anything. And I say that because he knows that none of us like this girl. So when you get married, you bring this person into your family. And if your family doesn't like that person, it's gonna cause so much tension between the families. I'm serious. You think it's not, but just, I have seen it firsthand, and it's happening for me firsthand. Like, well, not with hubby. Everybody loves hubby. Thank God for that shit, man. But I'm seeing it firsthand with my father and his new girlfriend, and I think that, excuse my language, but she is a pussy. She is a little bitch. And I don't say that as an insult. I say that more as an observation. She doesn't take the time to even acknowledge. She just, respect. I talk to you about this. Respect. Huge thing. She just doesn't go out of her way. Like, if you know you're getting married to a man who has 4 kids with another woman, their divorce was just final, then why don't you step it the fuck up and actually talk to the mother of the kids? Why don't you talk to the actual grown adults in the family? Why don't you actually get them to like you? If you don't, and she's a mother too, then as a human being, you're a piece of shit. Like, I'm very mad about it. And, I know that people listen to my podcast, people meaning my family, and so they're gonna listen to this and don't come for me for saying any of this. And if you agree with me, then that's also great too, because I'm entitled to my opinion and I don't need you guys stuffing your opinions down my throat. Don't like this girl, still not invited to the wedding, he's still not invited to the wedding. I don't care if I'm gonna regret it. Like, I don't care. And like I said, I'm not going to, because I'm doing it for a valid reason. And I hate him more because, you know, we've been telling him we don't like this person. Like, can he imagine just for a second, like, not, like, out of his shoes, that what if I brought home a dude he doesn't freaking like and I got married to him? Like, he likes hubby. We have no problems here. But, I don't know. I was literally just in a heated argument with my mother like a few days ago, and I was basically saying you can't expect much from a man who never gave you much to begin with. And that's true for her. For me, he gave me a lot as a child, and when I got older, like through high school and to now, he didn't give me much. So I don't know, I'm just a little emotional now. I'm just very irritated about it, and that's what my baby sister had called about, which leads me into the topic of discussion for today, because we're already at 17 minutes. Killing myself now. But not literally, just kidding, not gonna do it, nope. But we're talking about depression. And yes, you've seen the title, so you know that this is what we're talking about. And I've been trying to be very enthusiastic because this topic is very sad. Now, I put my makeup on today because, again, some bad bitch business, doing this podcast. Don't want to look like a scrub. But realistically, I'd be chilling in sweatpants and a t-shirt all freaking day. That's what I do. But I've noticed that my depression came crawling back. And, so having anxiety, your mind is going like 2,000 miles per hour, okay? That's a lot of miles per hour. And it's just constantly moving. I'm thinking about one thought to the next thought. I don't ever stick onto one subject, which is why lists are such a big thing for me, because it helps me stick to that one topic, and then it lets me check it off, and I like the little check mark. But depression is it's just sadness without a purpose. That's what it is. It's just this sadness that comes into your life and you have no idea what's causing it. It definitely takes a lot of digging for you to figure it out. I don't know what my depression is this time. I think it's a multitude of things. I think it's just like how my year has been going, and that I just feel like I'm like running and I haven't had a minute to like slow down and just walk or just stop. One of the two. And my mind is always going. I'm always doing something. I'm always thinking about something. Even when I'm going to bed, like, my mind will literally spin with the thoughts. So lately, that anxiety medication that I was prescribed has been a lifesaver. But with my depression, it's been making me very sleepy, and I think I've seen that the most with just about everyone that I've ever talked to who also suffers from depression. And I think that when you're sleepy, it's your body telling you, I need to heal. So take that nap, sleep until 2 in the freaking afternoon. Who cares? You don't need to, you know, rush your healing time. Don't ever do that. Depression is a huge thing, and I think a lot of it right now is just stemming from, you know, my father and how life is going for that, and maybe a little bit of flashbacks to like the miscarriage, and, you know, I definitely regret going through those photos because I saw a lot of it. But and then definitely the fire with our stuff, I'll notice like, dang, I'm missing this, and it makes me sad. Like, so I think my depression is just normal, and I know that's not a normal thing to say, but I'm trying to be optimistic about it because it is something that can really drain you if you don't try and keep your mind as positive as possible. And I'm a positive person to begin with for the most part. I mean, I take those pity parties for 24 hours, whatever it was, like a few hours, but I still take my pity parties or whatever. And, you know, I have those moments where I'm just like self-pitying, and it's kind of sad, actually. That makes me sad. But I mean, depression is just, it just comes and goes like the wind. It's gonna show up, and then one day it's gonna leave. And I remember somebody talking to me about this, and I was sitting down and we were having a conversation. I was like, what makes it leave? And it had a lot to do with like the butterfly effect, but someone was just like, one day either someone or something in your life is gonna happen. You're gonna wake up and you're gonna feel completely normal. So the last time my depression was here, because I've just had a lot of sadness in the last year. It hasn't really been depression, but the last time my depression was here was actually 2 years ago. So I've made a lot of progress with it, but I really took what that person had said to heart. So that was like a 3-year ago conversation, and then a year after that, so that's 2 years from now, I got back from my deployment, and even though it was a vacation, I was also doing a lot and, talking to a lot of people. That's very draining for me, and I was definitely playing the field. So, when I got back and I didn't have that social life anymore and I wasn't talking to people, it just put me kind of in a depression, I guess. Plus, when I got back to work, I felt like I wasn't needed. And I don't necessarily like to feel like I'm needed, but like I legitimately, nothing was going on in my life. Like at work, nothing was happening. At home, I would literally get home, watch a few shows, I was not very happy about it, and I would go to bed and I would do everything normal. So like for a few months, my life was very it was very one color. It was just gray. There were no highlights and no shadows. It was just gray. So it was very difficult for me to accept that. It was very difficult for me to figure out how to get out of it. So this one day I went to Whole Foods, actually, as odd as this sounds. But I remember that conversation because I remember the minute that it had happened and what had happened. So I was at Whole Foods. I was shopping for groceries because I'm a Whole Foods kind of person. Sad I don't have one here. Doesn't help my depression because Whole Foods is just such a positive, airy vibe, for real. But I was shopping at Whole Foods, I was getting my groceries, and I was getting into line, and I can read auras off people. So this one guy was behind me, and there were only 2 open, and one lane was for 10 items or less, which is the lane I was in, and then one lane was in for all the people who had a lot of stuff in their cart. And this guy had come behind me, and he had a really positive vibe. He was so bubbly and chirpy, and he would smile, and he was adorable, honestly. I wish I knew who he was. He probably would have helped me today, but he was behind me, and I was like, oh my goodness, you only have one thing, why don't you go in front of me? And he was like, no, it's totally okay, take your time, And I was like, well, you're getting flowers, so you must have somewhere to be. And he was like, well, yeah, I'm celebrating my, I don't remember what number anniversary, but he was like, I'm celebrating my anniversary with my wife, and I'm getting her flowers, and I'm gonna go pick up her present, and then I'm gonna go home and celebrate it with her. He was an older gentleman too, so I remember he was talking to me, and we were talking about just what it was like in Tucson, what his wife was like, how they met, and he opened something in my heart I didn't realize kind of existed. Happiness is just an emotion. It's not a state of mind the way people try and make happiness seem. So for me, he motivated me again. I was happy again all of a sudden. And I felt like I could conquer my depression again. I felt like my optimism had reached its peak. I was reborn just with a conversation. I know that sounds silly as hell. I know it's just something so small, but I do believe in the butterfly effect, and I do believe that one moment can change it for the rest of them. So I just want you guys to know that depression comes and goes. It does, and it will leave you one day, and it will be the smallest thing that makes it leave. It doesn't stay forever. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. So I just want you to be very optimistic, very open-minded to the fact that things around you can change and people can change you. They really can. So no person is ever the same, but at the same time, your core will always remain the same. Depression for me is much different when I was single versus now being in a very serious committed relationship. I don't know if hubby's gonna kill me for saying any of this, but I am still required to be Jas. I'm still required to make sure the house is clean, that the clothes are folded, that I am still, my schedule's open for whenever we want to do this or do that. Meanwhile, on the inside, I feel like I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit behind my computer and do something invigorating, such as play Sims, or I want to just write on my iPad, or I want to draw on my iPad, or whatever it might be. So for me, that's what I want to do. I just want to be alone, which is not healthy. But it's so much different, because when I was single, it was like, okay, if I want to sleep now, I'm going to go to sleep now. If I want to watch this show now, then I'm going to watch this show now. And if whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. That's the perks of being single. And when you're in a relationship, whoever tells you that it doesn't put a strain on their relationship, and this is me being 100% transparent, that it doesn't put a strain on your relationship, that it causes no disconnect between you and your partner, they're wrong. They're wrong. I have heard so many stories about husbands specifically who want to leave their wives, but the thing is, their wives are depressed. They don't want to leave their depressed wives because then they don't want to be responsible for the pain that it may put them in, you know? And that's sad for me. Like, if hubby decided, hey, I don't think this is working out anymore, we should call it quits, I'm gonna be pissed, but I'm gonna bounce back. Like, it's gonna take me some time, but I'll bounce back. So I feel like they should know that. So I'm just saying that for them who listen, if they listen to this podcast, for that group of people. I'm still required to be me. I'm still required to do everything that I would do if I wasn't sad. I'm still required to wake up early in the morning, even if I want to sleep in. And obviously he's very understanding and he gets that, but I feel like if I change that routine just a little bit, then it's going to be a bit suspicious. And I don't want to create any kind of suspicion or like a reason not to trust me in our relationship. And honestly, I think that is a very difficult part for me. I grew up very independent, like very much. I do what I want. I will say what I want, and I don't need to apologize to anybody. I don't need to make anybody else happy. But as I've gotten older and as I'm in a serious committed relationship, I've noticed that it's not just me, and there are times where I still say I instead of we, and that's another topic. But the point is that it definitely has been causing a lot of strain. Our ability to communicate, I'm quiet. It's not like me. I'm very talkative. This, obviously you guys don't know that I'm quiet because I'm sitting here rambling to you, but you only deal with me 1 week, so I gotta make it count. And I'm like a little upset because it's like, I don't expect to talk about our feelings all the time, but I also don't expect to be shut out all the time either. But also I kind of do expect that if I want some space and I want some alone time, then I'm entitled to have that if I need it. And it's very interesting to me, on a side note, that it's dark outside and raining and I'm talking about a sad topic, and it's kind of enhancing the situation more, but we're already at 30 minutes. So moral of the story is that depression comes and goes, and there are those, few people in your life or few things in your life that's going to make it go away for a little bit. It's going to come back, but you need to be prepared for when it does come back, how you're going to handle it. For me, I'm handling it the best way I know how, being creative, putting myself out there. My podcast is my everything, and I love doing my podcast a lot. I think it's very therapeutic for me, as one of my aunts had said, that it's a way for me to express how I'm feeling. And depression is kind of, it's very different in both worlds. I'm remembering the last time I was depressed, I literally I would look cute and I would go out, but I feel like now I look cute to do my podcast, and I don't know, I think depression single is a little bit worse because now I have someone who will hold me up if I need it. So shout out to hubby for being amazing always. I think that's all that I wanted to talk about today. Depression is a huge topic, and there's so many different ways for you to talk about it. But I don't know. I've noticed that when talking about a topic for too long, I kind of like ramble about it, or I kind of get distracted. And what am I doing now? Have you noticed I like do the little like, it means that I've been sitting too long. And my heating pad that I have here, I wish you guys could see like my view. It's not really the greatest, but I'm glad your view is great, because that's all that matters. The moral of the story is that depression is a bitch. It is, and it makes you sad, and I'm fully aware of what's around me, very appreciative. I have a wonderful life, and that's not what the depression is. I'm still happy, I'm still blessed, and that's usually how people are. They're fully aware of the surroundings around them. It's just that it's just like a weight on your shoulders, and you don't really know how to get rid of it. It just comes with time and with practice, like everything is practice. And if you are suffering from depression at the moment, then I hope that my podcast can remind you that you are important, you are worth it, you are so amazing in every single way. And even if you've done some crappy things in your life, guess what? So have I. It's part of life, it's part of growing, and you're still a wonderful person, and I don't want anybody to tell you otherwise. So I'm hoping that maybe my podcast can put at least a smile on your face, because it puts a smile on mine. And I think that's kind of all I have for today. Again, if you're new, you're a champ, because you made it through this whole 30-minute podcast. It's a little bit longer just because I add stuff, I edit stuff, whatever. Anyways, I'm being extra now. I like this setup. I think we're going to keep it. I think it adds more than just like this blank wall here. It's a wonderful wall, don't get me wrong, but we could use a new background, right? Right, got you. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I post things every single week. I'm working on trying to maybe post a little bit more, but most of the time I work literally 7 to 4, get home at like 4:30, 4:45, and then I just want to freaking sit down and relax. I don't actually want to put anything nice on and take pictures. It's just extra for me. So usually I take weekly pictures, and I should work on posting those more. I know, don't yell at me. At least I get my podcast due out every single Wednesday, because on Wednesdays we wear some pink. Was that extra enough? Anyways, follow me on Instagram. I'm going to upload a really cool nail video on TikTok soon, because these nails have been on for a week, and they're still good. They still look great. Now that I have a little nail station, I'm looking at it like you guys can see it. You can't, you will soon, it's fine. But I just enjoy doing my nails, and these are like 100% my natural nails, so we'll see what I do this week. Maybe something cute, maybe I can't really do anything cute. My job requires one color, so I was thinking like a cute French. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Anyways, you should definitely peep that. Twitch is going to be Bad Decisions with Jazz if you want to see me and my Sims life and what the hell that's like, and the shit show that it is. And yeah, okay, I love you so much, guys. Be safe, be happy, and be loved. XOXO Jas.